Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I will be reading an Arlecchino listener by me. So let's get into it. The rain had stopped by the time you made it back to your shared room with Arlecchino. Your body ached from the mission. The sting of newly forming scars on your arms and back, reminding you of the battle that you'd endured. You stepped inside, trying to ignore the heaviness in your chest. But Arlecchino's sharp eyes noticed the moment you opened the door. "You're late," she said, her voice calm, but her gaze was anything but. She scanned you, taking in the way you moved, the small winces you couldn't quite hide. "What happened out there?" You sighed, avoiding her gaze as you dropped your back to the floor. "Nothing I couldn't handle. Just got caught in the middle of something unexpected." Arlecchino's eyes narrowed, and within seconds, she was in front of you, her hands gently reaching for your arm. She pulled up the sleeve of your coat, revealing the fresh cuts and bruises that had not healed, and her expression darkened. "This does not look like nothing to me, Wayan," she said, her voice quiet, but filled with that dangerous edge she always had when she was worried. You tried to pull your arm back, but she did not let go. "I'm fine, really," you insisted, though you could feel the growing tension in the room. "Just a few scars, Arlecchino." Her eyes darkened at your words, and for a moment, she was silent, staring at the marks on your skin. "And who did this to you?" she asked, her voice low, but there was a storm brewing beneath the surface. You hesitated, unsure of how to respond. "It's just part of the job, Arlecchino. You know that better than anyone." She let out a slow breath, releasing your arm but staying close. "I know the risks, but that doesn't mean I have to like seeing you hurt. And it also doesn't mean I won't do anything about it." You reached up, brushing a strand of her hair back from her face. "I'm okay, really. I made it back, didn't I?" Her hand found yours, and she held it tightly, her thumb brushing over your knuckles. "Barely," she muttered. "You shouldn't have to come back like this, and that should not be the norm." You smiled softly, trying to ease the tension. "It's not the first time, that's for certain, and it will not be the last. But I'm not saying it will be the norm. I'm trying to avoid getting injured more. You know that." Arlecchino's eyes softened, but the worry within them did not leave. "I know you're strong, but that doesn't mean endangering yourself. Leon, darling, I only worry about you. One of us has to worry about you after all, and it certainly will not be you." You chuckled softly, shaking your head, even though you knew she was right. But you also knew very well that this was a part of the life that you had chosen, dangers, scars, and all. "It's all right, Arlecchino," he said gently, squeezing her hand. "I'm not doing this on my own after all. I have you." She didn't say anything at first, but her grip on your hand tightened, and she pulled you closer, wrapping her arms around you in a way that was more comforting than you had expected. She was not one for grand displays like that, but in moments like this, she let the walls around her heart fall just enough for you to be able to see the depths of her care. You need to be more careful. I will not always be able to fix everything for you, she murmured against her shoulder, her voice softer now, but still laced with that unyielding intensity. You leaned into her embrace, resting your forehead against her shoulder. I'll try, I promise, he whispered, though you both knew that promises like that were very difficult to keep in your line of work. But you promised to try, and she trusts you on that. After a few moments, she pulled back just enough to look at you, her hand still resting on your arms. Let me see, she said, gesturing to the rest of your injuries. You sighed but nodded, letting her help you out of your coat and shirt. Her fingers were gentle as she examined the cuts and bruises, her touch soft but firm. She didn't say anything as she worked, but the silence between you was comfortable, filled with the understanding that words did not always need to be said. And when she was finally done, she met your eyes once more, her expression a lot softer now, but still holding that quiet intensity of hers. That intensity that made her who she was. Next time, don't try to downplay it, she said, her voice low, and you smiled softly, reaching up to cup her cheek. I'll keep that in mind. She leaned into your touch for just a moment before pulling you closer once more, her arms wrapping around you as if she never wanted to let go again. And in that moment, as the weight of submission and the scars it left behind began to fade, he knew that no matter how many battles he faced, and no matter how many scars he would end up carrying, you would always have her by your side, fierce, protective, and unwavering, just the way she always was.